Assalamu alaikum. Across Britain, Union Jacks and St. George's crosses are suddenly everywhere, on lampposts, motorways, even painted across roundabouts. Ironically, many of them were put up by migrant workers. Anyway, they call it Operation Raise the Colours, a call to reclaim the nation. Their latest antic, Save the Kingdom March in London, flag waving, chants against Muslims and immigrants, banners ripped, and Islamic symbols torn down. Irony upon irony. A former colonial empire responsible for much of the known world's wars and political crises and is still interfering across the world through proxy wars and proxy colonial agent rulers is now crying about its foreigners. For centuries, the Union Jack and St. George's flags flew as a symbol of a ravaged colonial empire, ransacking lands, looting, pillaging, engineering famines and diseases, torturing, enslaving millions and millions, killing millions for more than 400 years, stretching across quarter of the world. In Africa, Egypt, Sudan, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa. In South Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Burma. In the Arab world, Palestine, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Yemen, Jordan, and from the Caribbean to Ireland, the empire was despised, resisted, and was drenched in the blood of those who never wanted it in the first place. And yet, after barely 50 or 60 years of migration from those very same lands, you have the audacity to scream reclaim? Reclaim from whom? From the very people your empire uprooted, scattered, and exploited? This is no favor you are doing upon the migrant community. It is the consequence of your own history. They are here because your colonial empire was there. And until Britain ends its interference abroad, there is no going back. That is the truth you cannot cover with flags or marches. They tell the migrants, go home or send them back. Every refugee, every exile, every migrant would rather live with dignity in their own homeland. But why can't they? Because Britain and its allies made sure they could not. Let me give Tommy Robinson and the far right some good news. Palestinians have waited since 1918 to go home, when Britain's Balfour Declaration gave away their land. 700,000 expelled in the Nakba, 7 million still in exile waiting to return home. It is the Ottoman Caliphate that was dismantled by Britain through the Sykes-Picot and occupation that resulted in today's disunity and forced migrations. The Afghans have been waiting since 1839, torn by British invasions, Soviet wars, and endless Western occupations. The Iraqis since the 1920s, from Britain's mandate to the 2003 US-UK invasion that killed 1 million and displaced millions. Kashmiris since 1947 have been waiting to go home, trapped by Britain's partition, still denied peace and self-determination. Pakistanis since 1948 chained by IMF and World Bank and puppet rulers, Britain and America's modern colonial tools. Syrians since 1924 when Britain and France carved up the caliphate, today ravaged by foreign-fueled proxy wars. Yemenis since Britain split north and south, now starved and bombed by a Saudi war armed by Britain. Libyans since 2011 when NATO bombs destroyed their state, leaving only chaos and militias. We are not here because we chose to leave. We are here because the British Empire and its proxies drove us out. So when you tell us to go home, which home? The one Britain stole? The one Britain bombed? The one Britain divided and handed to tyrants? The one Britain exploited through its institutions? That is not our home. Yes, we will go home when Britain and its allies end their meddling in our lands, when Britain stops backing dictators, fueling wars, and pays reparations for its 400 years of colonial savagery upon its former colonies and people. When the tyrants imposed by Britain and the US fall, and when the Khilafah returns a leadership that unites our lands, governs with justice and accountability, and restores dignity. A system where Muslims and non-Muslims are both welcome, live side by side in peace, free from racism, exploitation, oppression, and chants of migrants go home. Then, and only then, we will all gladly go home to Palestine, to Mecca, to Medina, to Damascus, to Al-Andalus, to Kashmir, lands described as heavens on earth, centers of civilization, culture, and heritage. We wait in earnest to return home one day, inshallah. So my message to Tommy and his Unite the Kingdom and Operation Raise the Colors gang members is simple. It isn't the boats you need to stop. It isn't the refugees, immigrants, Islam, or Muslims. The real problem is Britain's foreign policy, centuries of colonial greed, and today's endless wars that have created refugees in the first place. You stole Palestine, you carved up India, you partitioned Kashmir, you wrecked Iraq, you starved Yemen, you split Sudan, and you enslaved the Caribbean, and even drove your own Irish neighbors onto boats. So stop your illegal wars, stop arming tyrants, stop backing sieges and occupations. And when Britain stops exporting violence, the migration will stop following it home. And we don't ask for your slogans, but we demand justice, reparations, and the right to govern our own lands. And when that day comes, when our lands are free, dignified, and ruled by our own people, then yes, we will go home. You keep your flags and your fish and chips, and we'll keep our history, our dignity, and our vision. And when you need oil, gas, or the waterways you once looted, you'll know where to find us. The Muslim community must speak boldly, without fear. And remember, Britain is doing us no more of a favor than Pharaoh did for Musa alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.